everybody. Welcome to Takeoff with John Clark, presented by Live Casino Hotel Philadelphia. It is finally game week. Eagles at the Lions on Sunday. We've got two special guests. Brandon Graham, his first game back after tearing his Achilles last year, hometown of Detroit. How special is that? And also a star from Philadelphia, South Philadelphia, grew up in a small room in South Philly near the stadiums. He is the biggest Philadelphia sports fans. You know him well. Rob McElhenney. Of course, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They're in their 15th season, and he's got a new project. He talks about his Eagles fandom. Enjoy the conversation. Morning, Rob. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Doing well. You in LA or Philly, or where are you?
I'm in the city of New York.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Good Morning America. We're doing Colbert. And I just met somebody that I have to say was a little bit frustrating because it turns out he was a really nice guy. But I just did this guy's show.
Oh, nice.
And that's a little devastating because I wanted to hate him, but you just kind of can't.
And he never really beat the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles always beat them in the playoffs.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then again, he does have more Super Bowls than we do, but
ouch.
maybe this year.
Yeah, and you've got a great new show. It's really awesome to watch. Welcome to Wrexham. You bought a football club in the United Kingdom. We're going to get into that in a second, but it is game week for your Eagles. So I just want to get a prediction from you. What is your feeling about this year?
Super Bowl. Every year. I never understand why you would assume anything lower than complete victory. I think we got a strong side this year, and I like our chances.
Is it your best feeling since Super Bowl year?
God, I mean, I feel like Jalen's ready. He showed signs of brilliance last year, and I think it's just about getting that consistency. And he's had a full year, and I know just in talking to Jeff Lurie that he feels really confident, and I'm pumped.
I like how you dropped that in there from talking to Jeff Lurie. So for this Welcome to Wrexham show, you bought a football team with Ryan Reynolds. How much advice did you get from Jeff Lurie about being an owner of a sports team?
Quite a bit. I spent a good amount of time talking to Jeff just because I don't know that many people who own major sports clubs. So I had a lot of questions just in terms of how he approaches things. I knew that I didn't want to do it the way Jerry Jones does it. I wanted to find somebody who stays out of the locker room and stays out of a lot of the personnel decisions, because we don't know enough about football to make any of those kinds of decisions. And Jeff Lurie just seemed like the right kind of guy.
And I'll tell you what, it's interesting because we saw how you celebrated the Eagles' first Super Bowl. We saw you at the parade. How much did that influence you in buying this club for the Wrexham fans?
Yeah, I mean, I truly believe that the Eagles winning the Super Bowl was one of the top 5 days of my life, because I got to celebrate it with an entire community of people who cared so desperately about them winning, and we'll never forget it. It'll be a time that I'll think about and talk about with my friends and family until the day that I die. And I know that we can create something like that at Wrexham. And I think that anybody that's been seeing the show recognizes they see themselves. And that's really what drew me to Wrexham. I recognize the people of Wrexham because they are exactly like the people of Philadelphia. It's a working class town. It's a blue collar town. They work hard for everything that they have, and they love their club.
So when you went to the parade, you've heard the stories. Older people said, I can die now. You saw people burying the ashes of their loved ones after the Super Bowl. What is your biggest Super Bowl memory or your biggest connection?
Yeah, it was really, I had the privilege of going to the event and to the Super Bowl, and I was able to bring about 15 of my friends that I grew up with. And so just that to be fortunate enough to be able to do that because of my connection with the studio and the network was just really amazing, and something that I don't take for granted, and something I recognize that I'm really fortunate enough to have developed those relationships over the years, not just with the people that were that facilitated me getting there, but the people who I grew up with who made it so special.
So the connection between Philadelphia fans waiting 50 some years for their first Super Bowl and Wrexham, third oldest soccer club, how much are you connected to them now and want to help them and win?
Yeah, I mean that's all we feel is like every time we go over there and I walk around that community, it feels like South Philadelphia to me. It truly, truly does. And so I really want and hope for the people of Philadelphia, the people all over the U.S. who love a great underdog story to check it out. And we're finding, I mean, it's a big hit for FX and Hulu right now, and I think the reason is because people really identify with the story.
Ryan Reynolds obviously has a say in the ownership with you. So how did you get in the midnight green Wrexham jersey?
He was actually really easy to convince. It didn't take much. We knew that we wanted. I mean, my connection with the Eagles is gone back for 40 years, and I wanted to bring along something. And so our away jerseys for this past season were Eagles green.
You seeing an uptick in sales in the Philadelphia area for these Wrexham jerseys?
Our entire store is completely sold out, and we really, knowing that the documentary was coming out, we stocked the store quite heavily. We did not expect. We knew people would like the show, but we did not expect the numbers that we saw, and so we weren't really ready for it. So right now everything's on back order, but I promise we're churning out the gear as quickly as we can.
I love how authentic the show is, and I love that you showed us a picture of Eli Manning. So is there anybody, celebrity or a friend or anybody that you've had such a rivalry with because of your love for a certain sports team?
Yeah, I mean, I have so many friends who are Cowboy fans, and it's just so perplexing because they seem like such nice people. They seem like such wonderful people, and yet they love the Death Star. They love this evil thing that exists somewhere out there, and I just take a lot of pleasure in knowing that they haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years.
Oh, I love that dig there. How about Jason Peters going to play for the Cowboys? How weird is that going to be?
I couldn't believe that. I mean, I was on the plane last night, and I signed into the Wi-Fi, and I thought that the Wi-Fi on the plane was broken. I couldn't believe it. It's going to be really. I'm happy for him, of course. He's earned any payday that he gets for the rest of his life. So I'll be sad to see him in a Cowboys uniform. But I'm happy for him if that's how he wants to end his career. Go get it.
With you being an owner now, how fascinating is it to put a roster together and decide between players? And then when you compare that to what Howie Roseman did this offseason, I mean, what's your favorite addition?
Yeah, I mean, wow. Interestingly enough, just before we were talking, I was just reading some stuff that he had put out talking about Rager, who I actually really liked as an idea, but passing on Jefferson was a tough call, and how he takes full responsibility. He said, and he explains, I believed it was the right fit for the club at the time, even though Jefferson was clearly the better player, and I think that having taken responsibility for that is part of the gig. You have to, again, we don't make any player decisions because we don't know anything about football, but we hire the right people to do so. But you really are just seeing what works. You never really know. And what I always remind my friends who complain about whatever move Howie might make or Mr. Laurie might make, they brought us the Super Bowl, and Howie built that team. And I believe he can do it again.
We've seen sometimes where Mike Trout, his work gets in the way of his Eagles fandom, where he's asking his buddy from the suite to relay the scores of the game while he's playing in the outfield. Is there any time where you have people relaying stuff to you when your work gets in the way?
I'll tell you what, I have a bit of a conundrum coming up. So I'm coming to Philly in 2 weeks to do a live version of our podcast for Sunny at the Met. And we had scheduled this 8 months ago, before the NFL schedule had come out. And it turns out we're doing it Sunday night and Monday night. And the Monday night is at 8:00, and it is the exact time of the home opener, the Eagles home opener this year. So it's going to be a Monday night game, and I'm going to be missing it live. However, recognizing that everybody in that audience is going to care, we're going to get live updates throughout the podcast.
That's amazing. I still get surprised that people try to get married when an Eagles game is going on. Is it true you and your wife were at a Phillies game and she went into labor?
That's right. That's exactly what happened. We were at the first inning of a Phillies Dodgers game. We were at the Dodgers game, and she started going into labor, and actually her water broke in the box, and she said, look, I want to stay here for a little bit longer because I know it's going to be a long labor and I might as well have something to distract me. So we stayed until the end of the game, and then left and went home and had our first son. And he just turned, this is crazy, he just turned 12 2 days ago. So this is 12 years almost to the day that happened.
Wow, that's when the Phillies were actually making the playoffs back then. How much are you like pleading with the Phillies to actually make the playoffs for the first time in a decade?
Well, I mean, it looked really good there for a while, didn't it? I mean, that Giants run was tough, but look, I still believe. I think we got to pull out the next few series. They obviously they have their destiny in their hands. So let's go Phils.
And this is a fantastic show and docuseries that you've done here. Welcome to Wrexham on FX. And Chase Utley is moving over to England. Is he going to somehow be involved?
So we were just in Wales 2 weeks ago, and Chase and Jen and their 2 kids came to the game. Oh, well, sorry. They came to Wales. We played golf. I played golf with him the day before the game. And the next morning I get a text from him saying, I got COVID.
No.
So Jen and the boys came to the game. And luckily I was with him all day long, and luckily I tested, and he was fine. He had a little bit of a fever, but he couldn't take the chance. So we all went to the game without him. And so he had to follow along on the radio.
I thought Chase was invincible, that nothing could get him.
I'll say this. He got COVID, and then I saw him later that next night, and I said, how do you feel? And he said, I got like a body ache. The next day after that, I saw him again, and he was fine. So I wouldn't say he's invincible, but he's pretty much inhuman.
Who's the nicest Eagle you've ever met?
Man, Kelsey's up there. I'd say he's not only one of the nicest, he's also just one of the most fun, which I think comes as a surprise to no one. He's a blast. He's an absolute blast. John Runyon is a really, really sweet guy. But yeah, I mean, over the years, I've met a lot of the players. McNabb was fantastic. Even T.O. See, T.O. gets a bad rap, but that was only publicly. Privately, he's one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
I thought you were going to say Brandon Graham.
Oh, Brandon is a sweetheart. So I met Brandon this year for the first time at an Eagles event, at a charity golf event. And yeah, I mean, look, all of these guys, they got nothing to prove, right? When you're a professional athlete, I find this about all professional athletes. If you're 6'7", 6'4", 250 pounds, and can run a Ford 240, like you got nothing to prove. So they tend to be really nice guys.
What was that like to hear Merrill Reese say your name at the golf event?
I mean, even you saying it right now, I just got chills again. That was a surreal experience, just absolutely surreal. And I have that on my phone, and I show it to my friends. Anybody outside of Philadelphia has no idea what I'm talking about, but I show it to all my friends. It means a lot.
Welcome to Wrexham. This is like truly awesome what you guys did, owning a team. And we're going to see this out with you on FX, and it also streams on Hulu. I want to end this because it's always sunny in Philadelphia. It's amazing how you grew up close to the stadiums in South Philadelphia in a little tiny room to see where you have come. Is this one of the great underdog stories like Philadelphia sports, like Wrexham?
Well, I can tell you, I have had nothing but incredible support. And I've just been privileged and fortunate over the years to just keep being surrounded by people who believed in me and people who gave me nothing but unconditional love with boundaries and discipline all the way through. I went to Catholic school all the way up through high school at St. Joe's Prep. And I truly believe that the people of Philadelphia made me into the person that I am. So anything that I do or have accomplished, or the father I've become, or the husband that I am, or the man that I am, has everything to do with the people of Philadelphia. So I'm eternally grateful for that.
Is there any project where they asked you to dial back the accent at all?
You think I have an accent?
How do you say water? Water.
No, I say water.
See, you're a pro.
I can turn it on.
Thank you so much, FX. Welcome to Wrexham. It's fantastic, this project. You want to give us a go, Birds, before you go?
Go, Birds.
All right, Brandon Graham, Philadelphia's longest tenured pro athlete, joining us now. Do you like to hear that, or is that something I shouldn't say?
You know what? You could say whatever you want to say, because I feel like when I play this year, it's gonna be, I'm gonna feel good. So I don't feel like what you just said, like the longest tenure. So I don't know if you're calling me old or not.
That's a compliment.
Yeah, that's a good compliment. Yeah, that's cool.
That's a compliment. And Fletcher Cox actually came out a couple weeks ago and said he thinks you're faster than before the injury, and he thinks this is the best you've looked in a couple years. Do you agree with that?
You know what? Honestly, the work is not done. How I love how I started. I love how camp has been going for me. Just putting myself in a great position. Making sure that obviously my weight is good. Making sure that I'm just able to just do whatever they ask me to do. And man, I'm just having fun with it. So it's just me just taking the time to have fun with it. So that's why I feel like I'm playing fast.
The Birds added key players at each level of the defense. Reddick, Kaiser White, James Bradbury.
Yep.
How is everything coming together on defense?
Oh, it's coming together good, man. I can't wait to see how we really are in live action. I mean, we had a little glimpse with Kaiser catching the pick against the Jets, and we all was in full go during that time. And some promising things that if we can keep it up and stay healthy, man, we definitely can build to something great. So I just know, man, we got the team to do what it is our plans are. That's to win it all, but we got to put the work in.
It's interesting because last year you were underdogs for a lot of the year, and that dog mentality. But now you've got some people picking you to win the division. So how has the mentality changed, or how are you being coached up with that now?
Well, you just don't. The people gonna say what they gonna say. That's gonna change. Man, we come out lose to the Lions. Oh man, we in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Or however it go. Like it's a week to week game. And so you just got to make sure you take it week to week. Enjoy when you're winning. And try to correct yourself when you're losing, and just try to keep it even keel. And so I feel for us, we just can't get caught up in what everybody's saying. We just got to make sure we put the work in, because it do feel good that people have a lot of trust in us this year. But we should trust each other more than the trust that people have in us, because it can go up and down.
When the media is allowed to watch training camp practice, preseason games, when Eagles fans are allowed to watch that, we see what the defense is doing. Hassan Reddick's moving all over the place. But is there a lot that we don't see that you guys are working on?
Oh yeah, it's a lot that y'all don't see. We can't give up. We can't show our whole hand, and that's every week. We got to make sure that we keep something by surprise when we playing the different teams, and obviously we want to win these games, so we got to make sure that we come out and execute those, whatever it is that we're working on. So I'm excited, man, because I think we got a smart team. I think we got a bond that's building right now. A lot of guys love being here, and man, I'm just excited to see where we can go.
Did it help getting away to Cleveland, Miami? Did it help for some team bonding? You guys hanging around the hotel, eating together?
Oh yeah, we went out to eat. We did some cool little stuff together. Met some people, family and friends that's down here, and you just to see where they come from, see what family life they came from and stuff like that. You learn them even more, when you do certain stuff like that, especially guys that's from here, from Florida, what I'm saying, and got people close by that can, kind of come around. And so, yeah, man, it's another opportunity to get to know your teammates, and another opportunity to obviously enjoy a great time, because who don't want to be down here in Miami?
Final question for you. We talked about the defense, and then when you look at the offense, you've seen Dallas Goedert, you've seen A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, you see these playmakers in camp, and everybody says the Eagles have one of the best offensive lines in football. Jalen Hurts, how's the offense looking to you?
No, they look good. I think Jalen Hurts, it starts with him, and I'm excited for him more than anything, because I know he's been getting better each and every week, and man, I just can't wait, man. I just can't wait to see it all be put together when we actually know what it is we're running, how they like to run with the team that we're playing, how they like to run their stuff, and how we gonna what's the plan to try to attack them and try to stop them.
And it's kind of fitting, you coming off an injury, you're going back home for your first game back, right?
It's set up, man. I say definitely God has put it in order for me. And so I just want to go out here, man, and just enjoy 1 week at a time, because like I say, you never know your last game. But I'm hoping to be here all throughout the season so I can, enjoy this what we building right now.
We appreciate the time as always, BG.
Oh yeah, let's go, baby.
Oh, mom, so flagrant.